Hi everyone. Well, a woman phoned earlier on today to say that there was a hurricane on the way. But don't worry, there isn't. But it will turn very windy indeed over the next 24 to 36 hours. And these words may sound kind of familiar to some of you, especially those of you who often follow the weather and the weather from the late 80s with good old Michael Fish. Now, this storm that we do have coming up slightly does resemble the 87 storm, but there are a few subtle differences. So let's have a little look at what is different between this storm and the Great Storm of 87. Now, the storm in 87, it came up from this direction here, from the Bay of Biscay, and it moved up across southern England and the southeast of England, and of course brought the destructive winds. Whereas the system that we have coming up tomorrow evening is coming in from the west, really, or west-southwest. So it's coming in off the Atlantic. But you can see the isobars are getting tighter and tighter, closer and closer together, which means the winds are getting stronger and the system is getting stronger as it moves along. Now, in 1987, the pressure actually dropped down to around 953 millibars, which is exceptionally low. The storm system we have coming up tomorrow evening could potentially see the pressure dropping to even lower than this. So you can see here, as it moves across southern England, it's difficult to make this out, but you can see this is 952 millibars. This goes down to 951 millibars here. And that is really, really exceptionally low. And even though it doesn't mean the storm will be necessarily worse for us, it just means that the storm in itself is likely to be somewhat stronger and affecting, or where it affects, it could potentially cause more problems than what the 87 storm did. Now, where is it going to affect and what is it going to do? That's the next question. So we'll have a little look at the winds here, a little bit closer in. And as you can see, this is moving through tomorrow. It does look quite windy in the morning for a little while there. There are some warnings out, although we don't have a warning issued for tomorrow morning, as it's slightly below the threshold in which we issue at. Then as we move through tomorrow evening, we see the winds come around to the south, the southeast, and they really do start to pick up. So we get these winds here coming in 50, 60 miles per hour at first, but possibly after midnight, at least for a time, we could see them pushing 60, 70 miles per hour, maybe even a little stronger on exposed headlands and places like that. But that's when things start to change. So you can see here these very strong winds down to the far south, which is pushing 80 miles per hour, but they don't quite reach the island. They stay just to the south here. And as we run through, they don't really completely reach the island. They possibly skim the south coast of the island, but they don't actually quite reach us. Now, this is the thing that we're a little bit concerned with, because the exact track is a little uncertain. So this is a different model that we're actually using now. This is a high resolution model. Now, it doesn't go out completely all the way as far as the other models do, because there's a lot more data within this model run. But the difference is, like I said, it doesn't go out as far. So we sacrifice the time it covers for the actual amount of data we get. So you can see as we move through tomorrow evening, you can see these very, very strong winds coming up from the south to southeast. And that's going to be accompanied by a lot of very heavy rain. And this is where the borderline situation develops. You know, we go back one frame here. You can see these very strong winds in excess of 70 miles per hour at this point. But it's difficult to say how close they're going to be. You can see them possibly just clipping the southern half of the island here, the southern coasts. It is very, very close, even though this is as far now as the model goes out until the next update comes along. But you can see exactly how far this is, you know, how close this is, with the really, really strong winds down here in the channel, and the much lighter winds over land and possibly across the island. But one thing that is very certain with this system is that there is going to be a lot of rainfall associated with it. So as we run through, this is tomorrow morning, so there's some quite heavy rain coming through, a band of quite heavy rain moving through, and very gusty winds, followed by showers for a time. But then tomorrow evening, you can see this rain out here moving in. It's well, we're looking at these colours, 8 and possibly up to 10 millimeters per hour in some spots, and it just rains and it rains and it rains. So there's going to be some very heavy outbreaks mixed in with this right through until well, at least to the middle of the day on Thursday. And we can even run this through with a slightly lower resolution model that goes out a little bit further than the high resolution model. But even with this one, you can see there is a lot of rain that's going to be developing. Rain and showers at first, followed by the very heavy rainfall that moves through tomorrow evening and night. And it just wraps around this system. You can see the bands of rain just wrapping round and round and round. So there's going to be some absolutely huge rainfall totals in some areas. So once again, flooding is going to be a big possibility. We're looking at 40 to 50 millimeters worth of rain, pretty widespread, possibly in excess of 60 where the heavier downpours develop. So yeah, it is looking pretty nasty out there. In fact, it's been severe enough with the combination of the wind and the rain. Even just the first wave of wind combined with the rain is enough for us to issue an amber warning for that. So you can see that here over on our website at isleofwightmetservice.co.uk, and you can see the weather warning we got out is actually for 9 p.m. tomorrow. It goes right through until 6 p.m. on Thursday. But that is really to cover the potential of the second wave of winds that may come through. But like I've mentioned a few times, it is quite uncertain to how severe that'll be. And we mostly cover that in the warning and explain the situation. So there we are, really. That's pretty much it for now. Just a quick update and to let you know what is really happening, and not that too many things have changed really in the last 24 hours, with the storm track looking fairly southerly tracking across southern England, with the strongest winds potentially being through the Channel and into the north of France, but possibly still just clipping the island for a time through Thursday. So but of course we'll keep updating you on this as things develop, because I'm sure they will change ever so slightly over the next 12 hours with a couple more updates coming out. Well, in fact, there's going to be 3 more updates coming out really before the storm system starts to reach the UK. So so we will of course let you know more tomorrow. Anyway, that's all for now. Goodbye.